Welcome to another episode of the Rankings video. I am your host, Slasher Scotty, and boy do I have a surprise for you. We're about to rank down the top 8 films in the Leprechaun franchise. I know we're past St. Patrick's Day, but better late than never, as they say, eh? But before we start making these magical films that are not so full of rainbows and more so full of evil creatures and pots of gold, I have a sponsor to plug right about now, and that is RAZE Energy. Make sure to get your 12-pack of RAZE Energy and any other Rep Sports memorabilia, and doing so will guarantee you 15% off your next order by using slasherscotty in the promo code at checkout. RAZE is guaranteed to help you to keep going, for the long days and nights at the office and in the classroom. So make sure to pick up your energy drink of RAZE, which comes in a variety of different flavors with 0 sugar in each can. Now that we mentioned our sponsor for this episode of The Ranking, please let me tell you all to subscribe to me here at YouTube and show me some love, and also to hit that bell notification icon to be updated, on all things Slasher Scotty. And of course, like the video if you like what you saw, as well as comment your own personal rankings on the films that that were produced and released in this Leprechaun franchise. So which Leprechaun film is the best of the best and the worst of the worst? Well, how about we go and find out? Oh wait, but before we do, you know what time it is. It is time to deliver that ultimate golden rule that this channel has, which is, very simple. The golden rule simply is that these rankings are my own personal opinions. They're my personal picks. They may vary from yours, so don't bash me in the comment section and tell me how stupid, dumb, or idiotic I am for choosing one Leprechaun film over the other. So now, how about we go into my other studio where we start, ranking the Leprechaun movies. How about we go and do that, alright? See you over in that studio. And I got my RAZE. Number 8 is Leprechaun Origins. Leprechaun Origins was a film that was produced and distributed by WWE Studios, and it starred former WWE superstar Hornswoggle as its lead antagonist. This film, to be honest, is god-awful, and the Leprechaun himself was nothing to the likes of what Warwick Davis portrayed. Absolutely appalled by this film, the deaths, the Leprechaun itself, and the entire plot of the story, this no doubt deserves to be last on the rankings. Number 7 is Leprechaun Back to the Hood. The last film that Warwick Davis portrayed Leprechaun, at least up until the most recent film of the franchise, Leprechaun returns back to the ghetto and get funky! Truth be told, when he was in the Hood, he was more memorable with more to work with than his trip back to the Hood. Let's be honest here, this film had an extremely low budget, and a very tight budget of course, which obviously shows with the lack of creativity, the kills, I don't know, it just wasn't that good of a film if I'm being completely honest. Number 6 is Leprechaun 4 in Space. Usually it is said that once a franchise takes its main killer to outer space, they literally have nothing left for said franchise and killer. And that was the case with this franchise when they took Leprechaun to outer space and had him marrying an alien bride. Just like they did with Jason Voorhees with Jason X, they took Leprechaun in a whole new direction that wasn't well received by the viewing audience of this film. Sometimes a unique idea and a gamble isn't worth taking, and this one sure was a gamble that didn't pay off. Number 5 is Leprechaun in the Hood. Not as bad as the title may suggest, Leprechaun in the Hood did something that no slasher has gone, down and explored, which was a ghetto region with a primarily black cast. Granted, there were tons of stereotypes and profanity that can be suggestive and, racist in tone, but ultimately this film wasn't as bad as it could have been, and wasn't nearly as bad as its sequel, Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Still a lower budget film, this film was able to do some things in the special effects department that its sequel simply couldn't, which makes it much better and much more enjoyable film to divulge. Plus, Warwick Davis as Leprechaun had, more to work with than its sequel, as well, due to the whole unique story of the film. Number 4 is Leprechaun Returns. This is the most recent film in the franchise as of this taping of the ranking video, and brought back not just Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun, but also Mark Holt as Ozzy. Unfortunately, the likes of Jennifer Aniston wasn't brought back, but her character returns in a voiceover. However, she was played by a different actress. And she also has a daughter. Also, Alex and Nathan don't return either. We do get a nice cameo, however, from Mark Holton as the lovable Ozzy. However, he is killed off in the first act of the movie, although nice to see him nonetheless. This film had tons of nostalgia, and was a continuation of the Tori storyline from the first film, minus Jennifer Aniston, of course. Number 3 is Leprechaun 2. This film was really good and was the first of many sequels to the original film and a slew of films in the franchise that included Warwick Davis as the iconic and greedy Leprechaun. I really enjoyed seeing Jack Krampus from Seinfeld, played by actor Sandy Baring. In this film, his character was named Morty, who was also his Seinfeld character's sworn enemy in the hit sitcom. This film was unique in its own right, and the fact that it had Leprechaun taking a bride, some very clever kills, and some quick-wit humor, from Leppy himself, I say this film deserves to be ranked in the top 3, if you ask me. Number 2 is the original Leprechaun film. It was a close call for number 1 and number 2 spots on this, ranking, but ultimately, number 2 has to be given to the original film. It did include the film debut of Jennifer Aniston, best known as playing Rachel Green on the hit sitcom Friends. Warwick Davis made his first of many appearances in the franchise as the Leprechaun himself, who wants his 100th gold coin because, obviously 99 pieces of gold isn't quite enough for him. And the humor, the deaths, and the story are pretty spot on. Definitely a low-budget film, but aren't all slashers, or at least most slashers? And number 1 on the rankings is Leprechaun 3. This film is by far my favorite, with some very clever rhyming skills from Leprechaun and some killer, no pun intended, death scenes such as sawing the magician in half, blowing up the casino worker by inflating her tits and ass, death by sex robot, need I say more. The clever twist of being bitten by a leprechaun turns you into a leprechaun yourself, on top of the entire film taking place in frickin' Las Vegas, primarily in casinos. Well, what's not to love about this film? But that's it, we just ranked all 8 films in the Leprechaun franchise. So let's go into my other studio and discuss some stuff before I let you go in your merry old way. I got to go find my pot of gold! Thanks everyone for joining me on this ranking video of the Leprechaun films. If you stuck around this long, please make sure to like this video and comment on your rankings. If they differ from mine, I'm sure they do, so if they do, tell me the order you selected and why you chose them to be placed in that order. Because we want to have a conversation here. And of course, you want to smash that subscribe button, show me some love, that you want to. Of course, hit that bell notification icon, keep updated on all the videos that I upload, from interviews with celebrity guests to these very own ranking videos, as well as top 10 videos, the SSN, the body count, and anything else that I decide to update and upload. But that's all, I guess. I think we just finished the video. And just like that, I'm gone. And remember, I'm just gone like a leprechaun, because I am magically delicious!